All right, guys, welcome. I want to show you a little bit of editing technique. I want you guys to get used to two different programs that we're going to be working on in our classroom, or working with in our classroom. That's going to be Photoshop, which is the king of photo editing software. And if you guys are on any of our desktops in class, you can go ahead and use Photoshop. If you guys prefer to work on your Chromebooks, which you can do, you're going to use Pixlr E. There will be a link in the Google Classroom for you to use to get access to that program. It is free. There are some limitations. It's good. It's not as good as Photoshop. Okay, but we can do this assignment with either of those programs. I'm going to give you a demonstration for both. Once this is all said and done, I want you guys to complete 4 different color splash photos. All right, guys? So here we go. All right, first thing I want to do, guys, I'm going to pull up Photoshop. So here we are, just like that. So Photoshop, the best way to find it is going to be, let's close it here. Come down here to the search bar, type in Photoshop, and it'll pop up Adobe Photoshop CC 2018. Click that. Now, for the color splash photo to work, you need a photo that has color. Okay, there's just a couple simple steps here, and I want you guys to just get used to playing with Photoshop. So here we go. I'm going to take this photo here. I'm going to come down here. I'm going to float it on top of Photoshop and just drop it in here. We're going to do one photo at a time just to keep this simple. So this is my photograph. I am going to need layers to make this possible. So what I need to do, I'm going to come down here to my layer window. Down here, right below me, is the layer window. So you can see right here it says layers. If for some reason the layer window isn't there, go up to window, find the term layers right there, and your layer window will pop up. All right, so here's my layers. First thing I need to do is duplicate my layers. So I'm going to right click on this, duplicate layer, and we're going to hit background. We're going to do BW, so we know it's black and white. All right. It's always good practice to name your layers. Eventually, we'll start using a ton of layers, and it's not unusual to have 40 or 50 layers in some of our projects here in class. So it's a good idea to always name your layers. So I need to convert this to black and white. There's a ton of ways to do this. We're going to go as simple as possible. You're going to get some other ways how to do this later on in class. But for now, we're going to go the simplest route possible. I'm going to go up here to Image, Adjustments. Image, Adjustments, black and white. Click. There we go. Now, when I'm in black and white, I can make adjustments to really kind of make it my preferred style. Now, if we mess with these dials too much, it can start looking weird. Not a bad idea just to do auto. It's pretty safe. I'm going to bring a little more brightness into the grass just to create a little more contrast there. And we're going to make, nope, good, nope, there, okay. Now, after I've done that, I like to add contrast to my photo. So I'm going to go Image, Adjustments, Contrast. All right, so I'm going to increase the contrast, just like that, and increase the brightness ever so slightly. And what you're going to see here, it really made the gray of the grass pop a lot more. Image. Oh. So again, to do that, Image, Adjustments, Brightness and Contrast. Increase the contrast a little bit, increase the brightness a little bit, and hit OK. So now what we have here, we have layers. If I click this eyeball, I can hide my black and white layer. If I click my background layer, I don't see anything. But if I do this, all my images are gone. So click the eyeball for the background, click the eyeball for black and white. Now what I want my son's jacket to be in color, and I want everything else to be black and white. Okay, or I could do the opposite. Maybe I want him black and white and everything else to be colored. It's totally up to you. What is your taste? What are you trying to go for with your photos? So I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to hide my color background, and I'm going to bring back my black and white. The simplest way to do this would be to do this. I'm going to come over here, grab the eraser tool. Here's the eraser tool. I'm going to right click, make it a larger eraser, make it a hard edge eraser. And all I'm going to do is erase away anything that has color on it. Look at that. Okay. Unfortunately, if you make a mistake, oh, we're going to see color there. Okay. So all we're doing is punching a hole. Now, if ever you make a mistake, Control Z is step backwards. I use hotkeys, but if you come over here to edit, step backwards, right here. It's a great tool. Control Alt Z is going to allow you to step backwards further and further and further. Okay, you can step backwards up to 50 steps. Now, unfortunately, if I use the eraser, I'm actually making more work for myself. So I could just erase pieces away like this, and I've got color splash. Can be very fun. I actually like how that color splashes across his face. Kind of fun, but I don't want to do that. So I'm going to do Control Alt Z and do that. I'm actually going to step back and get the jacket back as well. Okay. There's another step. I'm going to hide my background again. I'm going to use right-click underneath this. This is called the Magic Wand tool. Great tool. I'm going to demo this again in Pixlr. It's going to be similar, not as good. Photoshop's way better. So hopefully you guys have already picked a computer. And those of you who pick computers will be rewarded with easier selection process. So right now it's the Magic Wand tool. I want the Quick Select tool. Again, to do that, I right-click. As I click, and we're going to learn more about these tools. So I right-click on this. I can pick different options. I want Quick Select tool. Now, if I do this option, the Selection tool, I select this shirt. I want to select this piece right here. Oh, it automatically went to plus. That's nice. Wow. Anyways, you want to have this on the plus tool. If I want to add to it, I do plus. If I want to take away from my selection, I do minus. So I'm going to add plus. Also, if you zoom in, I'm doing a Control plus for that. It actually is a little more selective at the zoom in process. Also, if you make your selection tool a little bit smaller, it can be easier to work with. So I'm going to go ahead, make sure you get his jacket up in here. Oh, got a little bit of his ear. Get the hood over here. But you notice I got his neck, and I don't want his neck in there. So I'm going to do the minus tool. I'm actually going to come through here and deselect his neck. So I want his skin to be black and white. So I'm going to zoom in even more. Okay. Shrink down my tool here. If I shrink that in even more, hopefully we can get even more precise. But I accidentally deselected his jacket. So I'm going to come over here and do this. Now, again, there are some other tricks to make this faster. Like, for example, building your selection on the color and then moving to black and white. I'm not going to show you that because I don't want you guys to get confused. We will tackle that later on with other assignments. So we go, just slowly selecting the rest of his jacket here. There we go. I'm doing Control minus to zoom out, or I can do the magnifying glass. Come back and pick my Quick Select tool, do the minus. Get rid of all this here. Using the scroll wheel on my mouse. Whoa, come back here. Scroll up a little bit. Again, there are ways to make this cleaner and faster, but we'll cover those in another demo. Zoom out. Oh, got a little bit of this ear right here. Here. Scroll down. Let's go to add. Get a bigger brush. Get the minus. Deselect this here. Push here. One thing that's great about Photoshop, if for some reason I don't communicate it clear enough for you, you can always find a ton of demos online on how to use Photoshop, how to use the selection tool, all that good stuff. There we go. Got a few nicks in it, but that's okay. So I also want to select his eyeballs. I zoom in a little bit. Deselect. Scroll over. All right, let's make this creepy. So I'm gonna zoom out. And now I've got some options. I can hit delete, and it just gets rid of all the color that was there. I'm gonna step backwards here. Or I can grab the eraser tool and erase away anything that has been selected. So I'm not accidentally erasing other content. Some of our tools don't allow us to do that. In Photoshop, it's just easier to delete. Boom. Notice I am working on the top layer, which is the background layer. I'm going to bring this back. There we are. Go up to select, deselect, and there it is. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. That's the color splash project on Photoshop, but half of you are using Chromebooks. So let's check it out on a different program. Before we do that, let me show you how to save this here. File, save as. Now I'm going to do color splash B. That's my son's nickname. If I save it as a Photoshop file, and I'm going to save it in my file. So make sure you guys save this to your photography file. I'm going to save it as a Photoshop file, a PSD file. Hit save. Hit OK. When I do that, it's going to save it as a Photoshop file. It will include all these layers, but it's not going to be a JPEG. I can't print that. Save it as a JPEG, which is a digital photo. Again, we're going to dig into this more, but right now, if you're like, Mr. Riggs, I just want to be able to print this. You have to save it as an image file. So I'd go File, Save As, keep it that name. I'm going to click on this. I'm going to go to JPEG, just regular JPEG, not JPEG 2000, no. Not JPEG stereo, no, just regular JPEG. Okay, click JPEG. This is going to save it as an image. Hit save. Always save it at maximum format. Hit OK. Boom. If I click this down here, you'll see right here is the color splash version. Okay, so got that there. Close that out. So now, what if you are using a Chromebook? Oh, hey, woo, look at that mess. You're going to go to Pixlr E. You will probably have to make a profile, which is totally fine. Just use your school email for this to make a profile. Pixlr E is a free online editing software that works pretty good. It works great for free. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to open an image. So I'm going to create new, or just click open image. I'm going to click create new. That's one option. Or what I like to do is just shrink this down. I'm going to grab my picture right here, float it. If you're on a Chromebook, watch this. See how it says drop to open file? It's going to let me pick. I'm going to do Ultra HD. The more pixels we have to work with, the more space you have to work with, the better. Now, if you're using a Chromebook, don't download your photos right to your Chromebook. Download from your SD card to Pixlr, and it will upload it to the internet, and you'll use it there. Same story. I'm going to come over here to my three dots. Three dots. Again, this is for Pixlr E. I'm going to go to duplicate. I'm going to click the three dots again. I'm going to give it a name. BW, so we know what it is. There it is. Bam. I'm going to turn to black and white. Oh, there's adjustments. It's just like Photoshop. Adjustments. Auto black and white. Actually, this does a better job with the black and white. You see I've got more contrast in the grass. Very nice. If I wanted to add some contrast, I can come up here, brighten some contrast, and do that. Okay? Now, just like Photoshop, I'm going to go ahead and hide this layer. Boom, it's hiding. So if I hide this one, see, it's just emptiness. Let's back. Bring this, hide that one, bring it back. I'm going to hide this background layer. Now, I'm going to select it. I'm going to use the magic wand tool. If I right-click, nothing comes up. I don't have multiple options. So I'm just going to grab the magic wand tool, multiple select, and I'm going to go through here and just start selecting all these parts. Oh, no! Dang it. Control, image, edit, undo. There you are. I'm going to zoom in. Still using hotkeys. Now, if I've got all these little squirrely bits here, I want to select, oh, what do we do? Oh, dang it. I'm going to do that. Undo. There you go. Add to. I got to come through and select all these pieces, which is tricky because now I accidentally selected his neck there. I can go to deselect. Now here we go. How do I make this easier, Mr. Riggins? I'm going to bring back the color one. And I'm actually going to, oh, get out of town. There are times where you just make mistakes. Good thing this is on video. Back over here, back up there. Select, deselect. I'm in color, magic wand tool, blue. In theory, you should only select blue tones. Now you're going to notice there's a very important step. See, I'm selecting just the blue. Get that orange there. Orange, get this little fringy area here. Orange up here. Now, if for some reason I'm having a hard time selecting some of this, I can zoom in, use the spinning wheel, scroll up. I'm going to grab the lasso tool. Watch this. I'm going to put it on Add Selection. That's important. Add Selection. Watch this. I can just scoop up all those little squirrely bits of blue. Bam. Okay. Anything inside that becomes selected. Now, I want to get rid of the neck here. This is going to be tricky. So sometimes zooming in makes your life easier. I'm simply going to trace as close as I can his neck. Bring it back over here. Should deselect it. There we go. Okay, so you get the idea. Select it. Let me go through, get all that there. There we are. Oh, I'm deselecting. Oh, it hurts my head. Come on. Let's add to selection. That's the worst when you do that. Come down here, scoop up all this. Bam. That's all selected. Now, the extra step. Pay attention. Again, this is that extra step. You've got to pay attention to this part. Here we go. None of my switcher boards over here, it's easier. I need to bring black back and white and then click on black and white so it's got the blue on it. Okay? I was like this. Worked on the color background. Click, bring back black and white, and then click on black and white so it's got the blue highlight. Now grab your eraser tool. Let's make it a bigger eraser tool. And just erase away anything that was selected. Now, how this is going to work, what I'm going to grade, I am looking for cleanliness. So really making sure that you get nice clean edges on your color splash. Okay, go up here, select, deselect, there we go. I've got color splash happening on this one here. Now, I have to download this to turn it in. I cannot just create a link from Pixlr. So I go File, Export. If you save, awesome, it'll save it in Pixlr. I didn't export this. Actually, save. I'm going to go to Save. I'm going to go to PNG or JPEG. I'm going to do Color Splash DPX, so you know it's on Pixlr. Quality, 100%, always 100%. And I'm going to hit Download. And what's going to do, it's actually going to come through and download it. If you look down here at the bottom, you can right down here at the bottom. Okay. I'm going to hide this. I'm going to come down here, type in downloads. Boom. Watch this. Bam. Color. color splash D. Take that, drop it down here to my desktop, double tap, and here's the Pixlr version. Okay, free program, Pixlr, Photoshop, free for using it in my classroom on my desktop. Okay, so that's what you guys are going to do. You're going to make 4 color splash photos using any photos you've taken up to this point in class. I would suggest you use the pictures of the elements of art that we've worked on this last week. But you're going to make 4 color splash photos. We're going to turn these in on Monday. So you have today on Thursday, turn them in Monday. If for some reason we're watching this video and it's not Monday and Thursday, just be aware you got to turn in 4 of these for this assignment. This could be an old video. I don't know. So good luck. Can't wait to see what you guys get. Have fun learning to use Pixlr and Photoshop. All right, guys, if you have any questions, post them in the Google Classroom or email me, and I'll get back to you. All right, guys, have fun. Oh, fade to black.